Okay, so um just trying to figure out this live thing. Let's see. All right. I am still dealing with my husband. We've been separate for officially since July. Officially meaning he no longer lives here. But I still deal with him because we have some projects and um I would say March, yes, March of this year, I told him to leave, and it took about till mid-May, I think, for him to actually leave, which is a mark of boundaries and the fact that I've been learning about not having had boundaries. I think the last couple of books, which I'm always reading, that really helped was 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson, um, Beyond Mars and Venus by Dr. John Gray, and now I'm reading The Search for the Real Self by Dr. Masterson, which is really good. Um, One thing that I come across, I guess this is why I'm going, I don't have much to say today. Um, Sometimes uh, I see that people can donate money on this live chat. I don't think I'm enabled to do that, but money would be nice just to kind of validate or affirm me as a person looking to um, share what's been going on for me. Um, yeah, so two things. I think I'm going to talk about the first thing. Now it just slipped my mind. Um, Maybe it's questioning if I have a disorder, which I most likely do, because who in their right mind would stay in a relationship with somebody for 25 years and not get it through their thick, dense head that it's not going to get any better? Uh, is that the result of no guidance, nobody knowing? Is it narcissistic abuse? This cluster B. I don't even know what my husband is. He's got an official formal borderline diagnosis. He's also gotten before that an official uh, complex depression and ADHD diagnosis. But I do believe that he has elements that go into narcissism, and there's a lot of narcissistic information out there. And I think it's kind of like bullshit when people say people are narcissistic and they say, oh, but that it's okay to call people narcissist, um, because it's not a formal diagnosis. Well, personally say that, that's BS. If someone's being called a narcissist, if the word narcissism or narcissist is being used, those people do have narcissistic personality disorder. I mean, why would somebody live their life as a narcissist without it actually being a disorder with this, lack of awareness level? So the other thing that bothers me in all this information is when they say the narcissist loves to do this, they love to do that, they love to do this, and that. I wouldn't say in my experience that even though they seem to be enjoying the torture that they're inflicting on somebody, it's kind of like to say that they love it is you know uh, desanctifying the concept of love. It's nowhere near what love is. And me, with my own very limited experience with love, obviously, since I was with somebody for 25 years that deprived me of what the sensations and the interaction of what love is. I don't have much experience with it other than what comes out of me, as far as what benefits another for being in their lives with me. Um, and when it's mutually beneficial, that's the only thing I could think of as what love is, when two people are mutually benefiting from the interactions with one another. So I don't have much of that. As far as with a romantic intimate partner, because I've been with the wrong person basically for 25 years, and it's better off to be alone. So, like I said in one of my other videos, I did break the trauma bond. I learned there was a trauma bond and learned to break it. So that idea of that, going back just to finish the idea that the narcissist or the cluster B or the borderline or whatever loves, you know, doing something. The term love, I believe, is grossly misplaced. It's instead what should be being used by people that talk about narcissism is that the narcissist or the borderline makes a choice. They keep choosing to do what they do. Um, they keep another word, I guess the other word for choice. Again, I'm not prepared. I'm never prepared. And, I'm constantly exhausted. I would say it takes me about like 2 or 3 days to recover just being in his presence at this point. And I've noticed that within me that um I have a lot being alone. I didn't realize that, or I did realize that. I mean, I used to say I have gallons of cortisol running through my body whenever I'm with him, and every day on a daily basis. And it was like at the point of what they call as refractory, where it's just so heightened and so intense that it's just the state of being. And I was thinking today that he himself is always in that state and was always in that state with me, but he came to me like that, and he probably didn't even have the empathy to realize that I was you know, a transformed or changed individual, because he himself is operating at such a high level of anxiety that to know that it's, his behaviors is doing it to me, it's kind of like inconsequential. It's like yeah, or is it consequential? I can't think right now, but it's so minor. Compare my pain and my anxiety is so to him is so minor, it's not even visible. And the only thing that he's not conscious of, I would say he's not conscious of, is that even if I had told him, and if I'm telling him that I'm being bothered or have high anxiety, he'll just go away and leave me alone and not really um be there to comfort, or as Dr. John Gray says in Beyond Mars and Venus, that no woman, it could be a person in a relationship, leaves somebody else because there's emotional support there, which means that um, the reasons for parting with somebody is because of there's no emotional support. I used to tell him, I used to call it emotional desert, like he was emotionally deserting me. And that which is everything in a relationship. Being emotionally supported is the glue. So yeah, besides the word, not using the word love, to when their choices and behaviors are just like so awful to the recipient, the victim, um, it's just their choice. It's not that they love to do it. They just find themselves making those choices and those behaviors choices. So, um, I think that's all I want to say, because I can't think, but I am doing better. I really am relieved to be alone. I'm not lonely. I I am kind of like going back 25 years ago and getting a feeling of what it was like to be alone. I definitely have grown as a person from 25 years ago, but I remember 25 years ago being alone, and I wasn't lonely ever. So I don't get lonely. Um, that doesn't mean that I don't have the desire to be with somebody and share with them, but I'm totally okay with being by myself. In fact, I even told them, I said, I can be alone. I'd rather be alone for the rest of my life than what's the alternative? Be with him. So, um, why did I not have this conclusion before then? Because I was approaching the relationship as a partnership and as that he was my family. And I would say from what I've learned that my lack of awareness created the idea that he had a deficiency in that approach of approaching it in the same way as a partnership. So I was always trying to piece it together and coax him and encourage him to be a partner. Um, and what I've researched from probably Games People Play by Eric Bernay, I would say and label that he was approaching the relationship as a transaction without me knowing. Um, I think the other thing people don't talk about when they talk about people not being able to leave and the trauma bond, and they talk mostly about the horrible stuff, but they don't talk about what keeps a person in the relationship. And it's those quote unquote positive elements. I wouldn't say good times, because they're the good times are really not authentic good times, because there's always that undercurrent of the lurking instability, insecurity, and not a level playing field and never being on the same page. But um, there are a lot of fun times and positive experiences, and you're just like, come on, come along and bridge this over. It's basically saying, come on, be an adult, because the good times, or the good, what did I call it, not times, but the moments, my god, they're even like just like moments, are the playfulness in the individual. And to explain that would be that the individual's childish. I think yeah, Masterson talks about childish versus childlike, or maybe it was in Dr. or it's not a Dr. John Bradshaw's book, Homecoming, which is excellent as well. Um, and of course, people that are complete or whole people know how to draw those elements of childishness and infuse it, childlikeness, sorry, and infuse it in their life and have a proper balance. But the cluster B, when they are playful, it's more like childish. So that's the draw, is that it looks fun, it looks genuine, because what's more genuine than a child? But it actually isn't. And you got to get rid of that hope. Just get rid of the hope. This, I think, is a situation where, as sad as it is to have to get rid of hope, I probably talked about it in other videos. It hope cannot apply for in this area. And a more secular version of hope would be expectation. So then you say, got to get rid of the expectation in this type of relationship. And I'll say the word situationship, because yeah, that's really good. Or I would say, I haven't seen this, but I say relationship. This is a relationship. Um, and then after expectation, there's habit. So, I think maybe if I would put it together, a lot of the childishness would fit into the neuroticism of the five factor model, the ocean. So the childishness is like a neuroticism. So yes, codependent, trauma bond, enabler. I was all that. I have to had to own my toxicity as a contributor to this situation, and I don't view myself as having a failed marriage at all. I would say it was a really bad experience, a 25-year experience. I, lost the best years of my life, eh, pouring all my genuineness and authenticity and readiness and availableness and spontaneity and fun and creativity and support and financial floating and goals and hopes and dreams and all that into a sieve. Okay, I think I talked enough, but still getting my place together. I'm just a mess here, but oh, I gotta get going. I forgot I have a project to do. Okay, well, hopefully you heard me. I don't know if this mic is on. Is the mic on? Oh my gosh, the mic's not even on. Why don't I see the mic on? All right.